Hey, hey, hey.
Alright, Joe, so Paolo Banchero and the Orlando Magic are currently one of the hottest teams in the NBA. They have been great for the month of March, and they are proving to the rest of the NBA and the league that they are in fact a team that is on the rise and hopefully will be here to stay for quite some time. Since February 14th, so about for the last month and change, the Orlando Magic have the third best record in the NBA. They're 15th in offensive rating, second in defensive rating, very close to first, and fifth overall in net rating. And at the center of all of that is their star player, all-star, Paolo Banchero. Former first overall pick is having a very solid second year. He's seeing a lot of growth in areas that he needed to, and overall just continues to grow and be the cornerstone player that the Magic are going to need him to be in order to continue to see success. And I know that it's been a pretty popular take on Twitter and other social medias for a while now, but I'm going to reiterate it here because it just really does not make sense, the lack of marketing from the NBA on behalf of Paolo Banchero and the Orlando Magic. You know, we're in this position now where everyone's saying, you know, LeBron's on his way out, Kevin Durant's on his way out, Steph Curry's on his way out. Who is going to be the next face of the league, star of the league? The NBA has an American-born, you know, former first overall pick playing great basketball for 2 full seasons now, and they just refuse to give any sort of marketing or propaganda to him in the Orlando. And I forget what the exact number is, but I'm pretty sure the Orlando Magic, since getting Banchero, have only played in 1 nationally televised game, which is just absolutely insane. Because I could go on some huge long rant, but at the end of the day, Paolo Banchero is just a really good and fun basketball player to watch. And he once again proved this in a recent game against the New Orleans Pelicans. A lot of people were hyping this game up because it is 2 of the hottest teams in the NBA clashing right now, 2 young teams as well, which is always a nice added bonus. And Paolo Banchero was the best player on the basketball court, dropped a triple-double, and led his Orlando Magic to a huge win over the Pelicans. Now, I'll be honest and transparent, I haven't really been keeping up with the NBA and basketball as closely as I did earlier on in the season. I'm getting back into the swing of things. But in watching this game, I think the thing that stood out most to me, especially about Paolo Banchero getting into the specifics, is his passing was on full display in this game, and it was a beautiful thing to watch. The Pelicans are a really good defensive team, especially their interior defense. They are really good at not allowing points in the paint. Going up against the Orlando Magic, that's kind of their whole thing on offense, is to get into the paint and get those easy shots, especially someone like Paolo Banchero. So early in the game, the first half especially, the Pelicans did their normal thing of loading up the paint, and they did not allow Paolo Banchero to score any points. I think he legitimately had 2 points like the entire first half. So rather than continuing to chuck shots and take bad drive attempts, instead Banchero did the smart thing and was setting up his teammates, driving and kicking out, going into the post and kicking out, and just being a much better playmaker than scorer, which is what the team needed at the time. He had the ball in his hands a lot, and he was in full control, again, just firing off great skip passes out of pick and rolls or out of the post if the other team was sending doubles at him. Plus, I think by now we all know how good of a driver of the basketball Paolo Banchero is. That was his probably best specialty coming into the NBA, his ability to get to the rim, draw free throws, and all of those good things. But we're now seeing him evolve into that next level of driver where he is kicking out, he's dumping to the other big, and he's just making the smart decision, it feels like, every time he drives to the rim. This is also a nice development to see because earlier in the season when the Magic were having some struggles, it just felt like the ball was sticking in Paolo Banchero's hands a lot, more than it should have at least. So it's fun to look back on that. Because another thing that has opened up Banchero's game a whole lot is his newfound ability to shoot the basketball. He had a very rough shooting season from behind the arc in his rookie year. He was at 29% from 3, but he has since seen that percentage jump up to 36% in his sophomore season. It's obvious, but what that does is it makes the defense have to respect him. And when it comes to defense, I doubt we'll be seeing Banchero on an all-defensive team anytime soon, but do not let that fool you. He is still a perfectly fine team defender. In this one game specifically, they're playing the Pelicans. He's matched up on Zion, obviously with both of them playing at the 4. And I thought he actually did a really, really good job at defending Zion, especially in isolation and on drive attempts. It feels like Banchero is one of the few guys in the NBA who actually is capable of staying with Zion in a one-on-one situation, just because he's kind of the same build. They're both big body 4s that are, like 230 plus. So even if it's not always showing up in the stat sheet with steals or blocks or anything like that, Banchero is still a very solid defender. Now, to go back to the whole, NBA marketing thing and the lack of it when it comes to Paolo Banchero, I think the main thing that confuses me most about the whole scenario is that, and I don't want y'all to take this the wrong way, but there's just a lot of shades of LeBron James to Paolo Banchero's game. Obviously, I'm not trying to say that Banchero is LeBron James. He'll probably never even come close to as good of a player as LeBron James was during his time, because let's face it, whoever will. But the point I'm trying to get at is that Banchero is a very similar body size. He plays a very similar style to LeBron, and especially with the fact that LeBron has become such a fan favorite and staple and cornerstone of the entire NBA, you would think that the NBA itself would recognize that and say, maybe we should be marketing this next guy who plays a very similar style to LeBron. I mean, let's just be honest. How do you see this play here and not at least think like, yeah, he's got a little bit? But I don't know, man. Regardless, the Orlando Magic, again, like I said at the top of the video, have been one of the more entertaining teams to watch during the season. I've had a blast from literally the first couple of weeks until up till now. They play a really good brand of team basketball. They move the ball. They just play really smart basketball. Jalen Suggs has become one of my favorite players to watch in the entire NBA, as he is quickly ascending the ranks of role players. Jonathan Isaac is finally healthy for the first time in his entire 5-year career, and he has just become a whole game wrecker on the defensive side of the ball, while also becoming a 38% shooter from beyond the arc, which, hell, even Mo Wagner has turned into a solid bench big, and that's just something that I never thought would ever happen in my lifetime. To be honest, the only thing that's been slightly concerning is Franz Wagner, which I know he's been in and out with some injuries here and there, but for the most part, with me, it's just the fact that he had such a good offseason, especially playing in the FIBA tournament for Team Germany, that I think me and a lot of other people felt that he was going to take some big leap this season, when in reality, it's just been a smaller leap. And you can't really be too mad, because the Orlando Magic continue to grow as a team and win more and more games, but at the same time, seeing Franz Wagner shoot 29% from 3 on the season, just, it hurts the heart a little. Also, just very quick, thinking big picture, if the Magic do want to become a true contender in the coming years, they're going to need Franz Wagner to take that leap at some point. It's perfectly fine that it's not happening this season, but if it doesn't happen by the next couple of seasons. But regardless, that's for the future. Today, now in the present, Paolo Banchero continues to prove that he is here to stay and was the correct pick at number 1 for the Orlando Magic. And his continued improvement so far in the league has been very, very exciting to watch. That's all I got for this one. As always, if you enjoyed, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all those good things, and I will catch y'all in the next one.